Welcome back. I'm Ashley. In today's video, I'm going to talk about not overcomplicating having a relationship with God. If this is your first time here, I create faith and lifestyle content, inspiring you to prioritize a personal relationship with God. It's easy to overload your mind with all the things you've convinced yourself go into having a relationship with God. But honestly, in the beginning, I would just start with something that you're familiar with, something that you've done before, and not try to do everything all at once. When you're first giving God quality time throughout your day, every day, I would probably just start with communicating and praying and speaking with God and being honest with God, pouring out your heart to Him and just truly letting Him know how you feel, where you are in life, and that you do desire a personal relationship with Him. Reading the Bible, going to church and finding a church home, worship, all of those things will come organically over time. So I wouldn't try to force anything or do anything that you're not too familiar with at the beginning of forming that relationship. I would say praying to God and having that quality time with Him throughout the day would be one of the first things that I would recommend to begin to form an authentic relationship with Him. Being honest, being open, and just talking about where you are in life and maybe some of the things that you desire, things that you're grateful for, whatever comes to mind. Just like any other relationship, to get to know someone, you spend time with them, and it's quality time that you spend with them on a day-to-day basis, generally, sometimes every day. And with God being your top priority, that should also be a relationship that you focus on. And in order to do so, it is important to try to eliminate as many distractions as possible. When I was first focusing on my relationship with God, I definitely eliminated so many things. And I talk about that in detail in my welcome video, which is also my intro video on here. So if you haven't watched that video yet, I'm gonna pin that here at the top of this video for you to go back and watch. Removing those distractions, removing those worldly things from my life allowed me the space, the room, and the time to really pour into my relationship with God and make it my top priority. So again, the main thing I would say is just don't overcomplicate things. Don't overwhelm yourself thinking about where someone else is in their relationship with God or on their journey. I would just say start small. The phrase in the Bible that's used more than any other phrase is don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. You may not think about this a lot, but many people are afraid to form a relationship with God because they're afraid of God's love and what that can do for their lives. And they want to believe, but it's something holding them back, or someone, or a combination of both. If there is something that's stopping you from having a relationship with God or believing that you are entitled to a relationship with God, I just want you to know that you are deserving of God's love. And He wants nothing more than for you to receive His love, accept His love, and love Him back, and allow Him to be the main priority, the top priority in your life above all else. And even if you already have a relationship with God, maybe you just want to deepen that relationship with Him. Maybe you just want to grow more in Christ. There's always something you can do to really focus more on your relationship, whether it's reading more, praying more, worshiping more, going to church more, whether it's fasting and really crucifying your flesh more. There's always something that you can do to just really get more rooted in Christ and focus on that relationship and grow that relationship. So whether you have a relationship already with God or not, that's a really good question to ask yourself. What can you do right now, today, to grow more in Christ? To find more of your identity in Christ? What can you do today where God can look at you and identify Himself more in you? There's always something that you can work on or do to get closer to God and build upon your relationship with Him. And if you're anything like I was a few years ago, I had completely strayed from God and practically had no relationship with Him. Today is a new day. a fresh start. You can start now and just decide what is important to you in life, and that if that is God, having a relationship with him and making sure that relationship is first and building upon that relationship today. Make no mistake, you are loved and God is waiting with open arms, ready to welcome you in and embrace you. Your past doesn't matter. What you did this morning, yesterday, last week, last year, none of that matters. If you are ready to surrender your life to Christ, he is ready to live in and through you. He's ready to use you, set you apart, and use you as a vessel to make this world a better place. One thing you can do every day, and just start small, is just wake up, thank God for one thing. And if you need an example of small things or bigger things that you can thank God for, things just about God that you love and appreciate, you can actually go on my Instagram, Ashley Denise Dunbar, and get inspiration there. I post gratitude posts 5 out of 7 days a week. So start there, get inspired, and just wake up every day thankful with a thankful heart. Another reason I say start with prayer is because just like any other relationship, communication is key. And when you pray with God every day, it becomes more natural each day. You find more things to talk about with him and be grateful for. It's your time to just unplug from the world and just be with him in an intimate space and moment. And that is why so many people say, pray more and worry less. So if you don't do anything else today or this week, just start with prayer. We all have purpose in life, and in forming a relationship with God, you will find your purpose here on earth. You will figure out that it's not about what you want for your life and your dreams that you've had your whole life. You realize that it's about God's will versus your will, self-will. And once you start living in purpose, walking in purpose, being led by purpose, purpose can continue to find you each day. And that assignment that God has entrusted in you will continue to be fulfilled every day. Of course, if you've never read the Bible before, sometimes it can be intimidating as far as where to start. New Testament, Old Testament, what books, what letters. If you're a Christian, I would say start in the New Testament. Start in Jesus's Gospels first. And the first gospel that I would read is John. And I actually want to read a verse from John. It's John 15:5 that talks about having a relationship with God. So this chapter is actually called The Vine and the Branches. I am the vine, you are the branches. If a man remains in me and I in him, he will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. So if you really let that sit with you and think about that verse, it's really honing in on living in this world and not having a relationship with God, not pursuing relationship with God, not seeking God first in your life, and then allowing everything else to be secondary. And it's one of the best verses in the New Testament that talks about what forming a relationship and having a relationship with Jesus can do for your life. It's the difference of just existing versus living your life surrendered to Christ. So I really hope you think about everything that was touched on in today's video. I don't want to elaborate on all the different ways that you can just simply start building with Christ and forming that relationship. Of course, if you have questions, you can always leave your questions in the comments, or you can direct message me on Instagram. I pray today's video helped you in some way. To stay connected, subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at Ashley Denise Dunbar. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my testimonial here, where I talk more about my journey in forming my relationship with Christ.